Hello and welcome to Studio Vlog November week 4. She vlogged the whole of November, guys. Are you impressed? You should be. Although I have to say this week is a little bit of a cheat. And I'm sorry if you can hear some background noise going on. I've got my fire on because it's cold and it's snowing. And the tippy tappings you can hear in the kitchen are Scooby pacing up and down because he wants to go out and sit in the snow. But it's -5 and he's not going out there. He's too old. It won't stop him pacing up and down though. In addition, we now have Maddie not very happy because there's fireworks going off because Hanukkah starts this weekend. So yay! All the things going on today. But that's not going to stop us because it's only a studio vlog. Chaos ensues, that's life. What you're currently watching is me working on a kind of gingerbread, kitchen witch, English country garden cottage type thing. I did this as part of my Patreon series on cottagecore. We've done a whole series of them you've seen in previous videos. This one was actually just a rough sketch, like literally a 5-minute doodle in this book. You can see the rough doodle underneath. I actually ended up transferring that into my main sketchbook and painted it as part of the session, but because I painted it and I did it in very dark colours, unfortunately it doesn't scan very well and I wasn't able to remove the colours in order to get the details for it to be a colouring page for Patreon. So instead I decided to just use my doodle and redraw that with some line art so that it actually could be scanned and coloured in. They're all rough sketches, they're not, super tight, pristine colouring pages. They're meant to look like sketches. But I am intending to redraw some of them and turn them into proper line art. I don't think I do anything special to this. I think I literally just half erased my doodle, grabbed a pencil and started going over the top of what I'd done and making it look better. Not terribly exciting footage, I'm afraid, but I don't have anything really more exciting because I've been working on Christmas Chronicles all week. And I can't show you any of that because that would be spoilers for the class, and the class have to see it first. You can see it once it's gone up in class. I'll do a flip of my book later on in December, but you can't see it yet. And all I've been doing all week, apart from the odd bits and pieces here and there, are bits for the Christmas Chronicles. So this is all you're getting from me, I'm afraid, is voiceover and music with some art. But hopefully that'll be okay for you. It's currently Saturday morning and we woke up to snow this morning. It's been snowing since about 4 AM. We're forecast snow all weekend. It's going to be a chilly one. I think we'll be staying home, doing some sketching, doing some art, drinking lots of warm drinks and getting in the Christmas spirit, I think, because there's nothing puts you in the Christmas spirit at the end of November quite like snow. I did figure out how to continue my numbers in my Hobonichi. If you remember, I'd used the numbers 22 to 31. So I had 21 in November and I needed a few more. I found this sticker sheet, which is from Sticky Box, and it happens to have 8 coffee cups on it, or teacups, or whatever they are. Teacups, I think. And I also found a set of stickers that I'd made for my patrons last year that I'd already printed out on clear vinyl sticker paper that had numbers on that were about the right size. And so I put the two together and finished off my November daily pages. My Hobonichi daily stuff is still going pretty well. I'm getting a little bit stuck with some of the pages purely because this is the busiest week of the year for me, or the busiest 2 weeks of the year, really. The last week of November, first week of December, it's absolutely crazy. My admin is off, so I've got a lot of work to do, and I'm doing her stuff, so I don't really have time or energy to mess around in my book very much. But the whole point of this book is not to do something every single day and force myself to do something every day. It's to just use my book more often as a planner, and if I do any extras in it of the journal photo variety, then that's fine. I did actually just stock back up on HP Sprocket paper. The place I normally get it from has been out of stock for quite some time, but they recently got some in, so I've stocked up on 100 sheets, which should keep me going past Christmas, and I can now print out some photos to go in my book, which has been something that I haven't been doing. I can print photos on my big printer, but in order to do that, I have to set them all up on a page, and it's just extra work. It's so much easier to just print them out from my phone, crop them down and just print them than it is to mess about with having to put them into an A4 sheet and work out how many fit on a page. And I'm too lazy for that. I just want to be able to turn something on, press a button, and ta-da, there's my sticker. I mean, I even buy sticker ones so that I don't have to use a glue stick. Glad to have a stock of those back again. This is just me setting up my end of November. And I guess tomorrow I better start setting up December, ready for Vlogmas, because December's going to be busy. I've got Vlogmas, which is going to be a video to edit every day. I've got the Christmas Chronicles, which is I need to work on it every day, work on my book every day, and film a little bit every day, and edit every other day. Although I am several days ahead on that. I think I've got enough. We've got 12 prompts altogether, and I think I've got 4 complete and ready to go. One of them at least is already edited. Maddie, what are you doing? She's digging into her bed. Baba, come on. I bought her some CBD oil spray to put in her bed so that when the fireworks start, I can spray her bed, and it helps so much. She's still very anxious and she doesn't like fireworks, but she's not trembling and crying and trying to clamber on my head like a little alien. So that's a good thing, but she does still dig in her bed and she does still fret and pace up and down. But at least she's not so stressed out that she can hardly contain herself. So that's always a good thing. I believe this is the last segment I've got available for you this week because I wanted to finish this little house. And thank you to everybody who said they liked this little house. I really enjoyed drawing this. I love to draw abandoned buildings. And although this doesn't look terribly abandoned, it was really fun to try and use very few colours to make the windows look like they were boarded up and broken and stuff like that. As you can see, to my right there, I have the Gansai Tambi palette. This is the 36 set, I believe. There is a huge 48 set now available. That now includes all of these colours, the 12 that come in the new pack, and all the metallics. Now, I already have the 12 pack because I bought the 12 pack to try them out. I really liked all the colours. They were exactly the colours in my colour palette that I use a lot. And I thought, you know what? It's on cheap. I think I got it on Jackson's and it was on a deal of like 10% off or something. And I also used some reward points. So thank you to anybody who used my link in the description down below to purchase something from Jackson's Art, because I get a little bit of a kickback. I get points basically that I can spend on stuff. And so far you've bought me a set of 12 Gansai Tambis and my new easel, which I've had for a year and I still haven't got up in the studio. It's in my bedroom and I do use it. It's just that I can't fit it in the studio at the moment. I'm hoping to change that soon. Although where I was going to put the easel is where the Christmas tree currently is, so maybe I won't be able to do that just yet. I don't know. I really need to get my room sorted out, and it's not something that I can just drop everything and get on with in one day, because physically I can't do that. I wish I could, because if I could just get it done in one day, it would make so much difference to everything. But no, can't be done. Anyway, I decided to use my Gansai Tambis to finish off this piece, because a couple of people who've already got them have said that you can use them like watercolours, because they are watercolours, obviously. But also they are actually very thick, and you can layer them on top of each other like you can with gouache. And if you look here, the white, I mean, this white is as good as my white gouache. So yeah, I was pretty impressed with that, and I was layering colours over each other. I was getting lots of different variations of super thick paint and thin paint and washes and all sorts, and they mix really well as well. And one of the things I love the most about them is that if you use them as very light washes on paper that is not watercolour paper, you can get some really interesting granulation from the paints, which I adore. Of course I love the granulation. They go down very, not splotchy, but just they separate in really interesting ways, and that gives you so much texture. If you're a mixed media person, these paints are fantastic. I'm really glad that I treated myself to these on I actually bought them on a Black Friday deal on Amazon, because they were nice and cheap. I did check Jackson's to see if they were cheaper there first, but I'm on a budget and I have to buy where I can afford to buy things, and Amazon was the cheapest, and I got them the same day, so you can't really beat that. Here's the small set I'm using now. I love that green. Oh, those two greens. There's like Beetlejuice green, and then there's pea soup green. Those two greens, they are just so fantastic. In fact, the only colour in this that I'm not overly happy with is the grey. Surprisingly, the grey is a bit bleh. It doesn't really have any oomph to it. It is literally just a neutral grey. I guess you can add other colours to it. I haven't really tried that, but I suppose you could mix like the grey and the lavender to get lavender grey, which I really like using for shading. The lavender is not very pigmented. It's more pigmented than I expected it to be, based on other people's reviews of it. I think I just got lucky though and got one that has a lot of pigment in, because most people are saying that it's not very coloured at all. Mine's on a par with the pink, which is okay. I should be using these quite a lot, I think, because it's so nice to be able to use them like gouache and then go over like watercolour and then put pencil on top as well. This does not mean I will not be using my gouache. I absolutely adore my 60 pack of Arteza gouache, and if you want some gouache to play in your sketchbook with, I highly recommend that set. Not necessarily the metallics unless you're particularly into metallics, although my set came with metallics in them. I don't know how many different metallics there are. This is another colour that I absolutely love. Look at this mint. It's kind of a turquoisey, minty, bluey green colour. Bear in mind that I am green colourblind, so I can't really see exactly what colour it is. It could be more turquoise than green. Or it could be more green than turquoise. My judgment is a little off, but I do like this colour contrasted with that purple. I think it looks amazing. And then with the warm tones in the leaves, I love this page. I just was so happy with how it came out. And this is in my See What I've Brightened sketchbook. I do like the Strathmore sketchbooks. The soft cover ones don't lie flat. At least the ones I've got don't. I've had 3 now. None of them lie flat. I don't know why everybody says that they do. The hardcover one I've got, the little hardcover one, actually does lie flat. But I don't know, it feels weird to use it with the hardcover. I prefer the soft covers, but they just don't lie flat enough for me. I don't like having a big bump across the middle of my pages. If you use one page at a time, then sure, they're absolutely fine. But if you like to work across 2 pages, which I quite often do, they don't really work. Not for me anyway. But that's okay, because I like my See Whites of Brighton sketchbooks. These sketchbooks are fabulous. They take a beating. They're not meant for like wet media particularly, and they do struggle a little bit with regular watercolours, I find. But the Gansai Tambis, because they're a little bit thicker and you don't need quite so much water, they actually look really good. And I used some pencil over the top later on to add a little bit more texture, and it just looks amazing because of the texture of the paper. So yeah, really happy with these. Good purchase, probably one of my favourites of 2021, if I'm honest. Next week I will be starting Vlogmas. Yay! I think I'm going to start Vlogmas on Monday so that I can put the first video up for my patrons because they get early access. Hopefully I'll be able to put the first video up for my patrons on December the 1st, so YouTube will only be 2 days behind, which I think is fairly normal. I think that's what most people do. And I will be vlogging right the way through to Christmas Eve. But for now, I'm going to have to love you and leave you, I'm afraid. I've got stuff to do, things to paint, stuff to stick, and all that jazz. I've also got to take Scooby out in the snow, because if I don't take him out in the snow, he's just going to wear his legs out in the kitchen, pacing up and down. He'll be 4 inches shorter by the time he's done. He needs to go and play in the snow. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all again soon. Bye!